I think I'm just not the selfie generation, so I just cannot get my head around it, to be honest. No. It just doesn't come automatically. But to that generation, it does. So is it just their thing and we shouldn't worry about it, or what?
Like when Lauren goes on holiday, it's like, normally when you get back from holiday, you like to tell your family what you've been up to, but I can see every single day what she's doing because they post pictures on Instagram every day, although she's private, so people can't look at her photographs, only people that she's allowed to look at them. But it's like,
she lets you on?
She gets a surprise.
We used to go on holiday and come back and you waited
talk about it.
Well, you waited for the snaps down at the chemist, and it's exciting. That's all gone
That's
now.
all gone, yeah.
So it's all in the moment.
Every day where they've been, what they've done.
So do you prefer that? Is that nice? Because you're like,
I quite like it because I'm seeing what the kids are up to most of the time. But there is nothing to talk about when they come back because you've seen it all, really. Yeah. So it's a shame.
Well, it's that instant gratification, isn't it? I mean, everything happening now and not waiting for stuff. But then technology gives us that, so why don't we just embrace it?
Well, I think now people are almost forgetting what it's like to walk round and just look at the world through their eyes with nothing in their ears, and to experience the world, a kind of primary experience, you know, a real experience, because they're experiencing it through their phones. So if they're not doing a selfie, they're at a concert. There was this picture in the paper this week of the Bruce Springsteen concert.
That was a great picture.
That was
look at
actually a fun picture, because there's Bruce Springsteen in the background. That was in Sydney, and I thought, well, actually, that's a pretty joyous kind of selfie. But all the time you see people. I went to a David Hockney exhibition at the Tate Gallery this week, and this is you know, our greatest living artist, and what's there? People taking photographs of themselves in front of the paintings.
So not actually looking at the work.
No, they're not looking at the work. They're standing in front doing a selfie. Now, I could get really worked up about this.
Go on, Janet.
Go on. A reactionary old so-and-so, you know, a nightmare ageing Janet picking on the younger generation. But then I thought about it. Every generation does something that hacks off the older generation. And at the moment, selfies upset us. They do upset us. We don't understand it. And if you go back 50 years, remember punk rock? How upsetting.
It's not 50 years ago, is it?
I think you'll find that punk rock... No, it wasn't 50, was it? No. 76?
Yeah.
40 years ago.
Long time ago,
40 years ago, people ripped their T-shirts, stuck starch in their hair and looked completely ridiculous, pins through their nose... and
bin bags.
Bin bags. You sound as if you wore one, Linda.
Stockings.
So do you think we'll get to a peak with this selfie fashion and then it will die down?
Exactly. I think it's not... There's no point moaning about it. We're in the grip of it at the moment. Go in any restaurant or cafe, what are people doing? Photographing their food before they eat it. If I go on the train, there's always someone wants to photograph me even through the carriage window, looking like a grumpy old what's-it. But in the end, you know, it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think there should be a moral panic about it, because I think it is this generation's thing, and probably every generation should do something to hack off the older generation. But it also does bring its challenges, and I do worry, just as you were saying about seeing the world through this thing, and that we're not feeling stuff enough. I mean, this Bruce Springsteen picture's great because that's joy, and I think selfies are wonderful at joy. I mean, there was actually something in Canada saying that a funeral director, leading funeral director, had warned against mourners taking funeral selfies, that they're at a funeral and they're taking selfies
really
of themselves.
Disrespectful.
You know, it's distancing yourself from the
worries
emotion.
me a bit more. At Auschwitz, you know, you've got people taking selfies at Auschwitz. There was one a few months ago at Ground Zero in New York, where
they had a blow-up doll.
Group of guys on a stag were taking a selfie with a blow-up doll and stuff like that. I mean,
of course
that worries me. People are desensitised.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the norm. I think, you know, I think the best of human beings, not the worst. And I think you'll always get really embarrassing, dreadful, tasteless selfies. As for funerals, I thought about this quite a lot. And I thought, do you know what? If people want to take photographs at a funeral, I don't have any issue with that whatsoever.
Well, it all depends on the photograph. If they're partying or, you know, one of those sort of selfies...
Yes, if they're putting themselves in the shot, then it is distasteful. But I go back to the fact that I think it's a craze. I think we'll have peak selfie and then kids will move on to something else.
Yeah.